体系。按照中国水库工程规模的划分标准，我们把它分为大型水库、中型水库和小型水库。大型水库是总库容1亿立方米以上的水库，中型水库是总库容1亿到1000万立方米，小型水库是1000万到10万立方米的库容。大坝是指水库的疏流工程，主要由挡水、泄水、输水建筑物以及相关设施组成。安全的概念，安全是水库大坝系统的稳定状态，或者说免除了不可接受损害风险的状态。管理的概念是通过规范人的行为，开展持续的危险识别处置，将大坝风险降低并保持在可接受水平之下的各项活动，通常包括工程建设、运行管护和应急管理3大方面的工作。下一页，换下一页。好的，6座，这个数据不包括。
But this data does not include Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan regions. Same with the same in other situations. We have 774 large reservoirs, 4,098 medium reservoirs, and 93,694 small reservoirs. When it comes to the distribution of the dams, we have the dams across all provinces in China. And we have 8 provinces that have more than a large number of the dams, which account for 68.2% of the total numbers. Hunan, Hubei, and Jiangxi are concentrated areas, accounting for 1/3 of the nation's coverage, while Hunan has the biggest number, which we have 13,833 being the most numerous. Yunnan, Guizhou, and Sichuan have many high dams and large reservoirs. Engineering characteristics, about 80% were built 1950s and 1970s. 93% are earth and rocks. 94% are no more than 30 meters high. 95% are small reservoirs. So this is the overall situation. Please, next slide. So actually, we have a long history of building the dams. Therefore, we'd like to give you 2 examples in the Asian China. One is in Anhui province. So the first one is Pond, known as the Qubei Times, is one of the 4 major water conservation projects in ancient China. It was built around the spring and autumn period and has been used for more than 2,600 years. And the second example is Shushan, where the Emperor Liang of the northern and southern dynasties organized 20 million soldiers and civilians to build a dam in the stream of the Huai River. So according to the materials, according to the history, it has 3,742 meters long, 337 meters wide at the bottom, and 108 meters wide at the top, 48 meters high. When it comes to the early stages when the People's Republic of China was just founded, according to the International Commission on Large Dam, in 1950, China had only 22 of the world's 5,196 dams that are more than 15 meters high. When it comes to modern ages, We take Three Gorges Water Conservancy Hub on Yangtze River as the example. We have created great achievement through Three Gorges Dam. So it's located in the mainstream of the Yangtze River. It's a world-renowned project. Next slide, please. When it comes to dam construction information, according to a survey conducted about a decade ago, we have built 141 high dams over 100 meters, about 20% of the similar projects in the world, and 13 super high dams over 200 meters with a maximum of 305 meters. So a number of the world's first. For example, the hydropower station, the world's highest arch dam with 305 meters in Sichuan, which is the Jinping Level 1 station. And Guangzhou in Guizhou, which is the world's highest crushed concrete dam with 200.5 meters. And the world's highest hot wall rockfill dam was in Nuojiazhu in Yunnan with 261.5 meters. And the world's highest panel rockfill dam is in Shuibuya in Hubei with 233.2 meters. Well, when it comes to the total storage capacity, we have the ranking. First one is Three Gorges Dam, then Danjiangkou, followed by Longyaxia, etc. So when it comes to the dam height, the top three are Jinping Level 1, followed by Xiaowan with 261.5 meters, and Sanmenxia, which is ranking number 100, still has more than 100 meters in height, which has 106 meters in its height. So we know that dams is very important in projects for the water resources regulation and flood prevention and mitigation, and a very important economic social infrastructure. It plays an important role in flood prevention, water supply, irrigation, power generation, and shipping and ecology. The development of the dams has played a great contribution to the economic development in the country. Next slide, please. So my second part of my presentation will shed light upon the legal system of the dams system in China. Some background information. In Chinese, the so-called connotation of safety, which sounds like 安全, and is the absence of worry in the spiritual dimension, peace of mind, freedom from threat. 全 is integrity in the material dimension, preservation, freedom from damage. 安全 means safety, which means subjective freedom from distress and objective freedom from loss. When it comes to the definition of 安全, safety, it means the steady state of the system. Chinese national standard has given the definition, saying that a state in which the risk of unacceptable damage is eliminated. According to ICAO's definition, it means the risk of injury to persons or damage to property is reduced and kept below an acceptable level by continuous hazard identification and disposal. But of course, such definition has seen its evolution throughout the times. The change of security concept reflects the development of security technology from static maintenance to dynamic control. When it comes to the risk itself, while the dam plays the role of economic and social infrastructure, it also has the potential threat to the downstream. The lesson of dam collapse is of very profound importance. To ensure the dam safety, dam risks must be controlled at an acceptable level under the constraints of laws and regulations. So we can compare the experiences of China's and the Swiss. For Switzerland's experiences, Swiss dam safety management philosophy is to reduce risk and control residual risks. There are three pillars for dam safety for them. One is structural safety, safety monitoring, and emergency plan. So those three pillars is right in line with the three dimensions of the safety management in China. In order to ensure the safety of the dams, they set up a sound legal system, which include a number of laws and regulations, including the Federal Waterworks Inspectorate Act in 1877, Federal Water Conservation Facilities Act in 2010, etc. Next slide, please. So when it comes to the legislative framework of China, we shall know that laws and regulations are norms of social behavior, and a system composed of national laws, administrative regulations, departmental rules, and local rules and regulations in China. So in terms of the laws or legislation about water, we based on the water law and flood prevention law with regulations on the safety management of reservoir dams as the center, and supported by departmental regulations and local regulations, such as the measure for the registration of reservoir dams and the measures for the safety appraisal of reservoir dams. The regulatory system for the management of reservoir dams supporting relevant technical standards is sound. So this is the very architecture of the legal system. So the Constitution of the People's Republic of China, we have the national laws in charge of the National People's Congress, administrative rules and regulations issued by the State Council, departmental regulations issued and managed by Ministry of Water Resources, local laws by the local People's Congress and government. When it comes to the content of the water legal system, the national laws include the water law, flood prevention law, water and soil conservation law, water pollution prevention law, etc. Administrative rules and regulations include the regulations on the safety management of reservoir dams, river management regulations, flood prevention regulations, construction project quality management regulations, etc. Departmental regulations include the measures for the registration of reservoir dams, measures for the safety appraisal of reservoir dams, measures for the management of reservoir downgrading and scrapping, etc. Local laws include, say, Jiangsu Province Reservoir Management Regulations, Zhejiang Province Water Resources Engineering Safety Management Regulations, Hubei Province Reservoir Management Measures, etc. So when it comes to the relevant requirements for the laws and regulations on water, water law, it is the fundamental principle of reservoir management, which clarifies the requirements of water resources development, utilization, protection, and management, the requirement of water engineering safety, risk removal, protection, and supervision, and the relevant legal responsibilities. Flood prevention law, it is the basis of reservoir flood control, which clarifies the requirements of construction and application, control and protection, flood control and rescue, emergency guarantee, water and soil conservation law, it is the legal basis of reservoir siltation prevention, which clarifies the requirements of soil and water loss construction, prevention, control, and supervision. Regulations on the safety management of reservoir dams, it stipulates the contents of supervision and management, project, construction, operation management, hidden danger management, protection management, punishment for violations about reservoir dams, and it establishes the basic system of registration, which we will provide a specific session tomorrow. River management regulations. The administration of reservoir areas shall be governed by the regulation, and the administration of reservoir construction projects, development and utilization, production and business operations shall be carried out in accordance with regulations. Others include the safety production law, emergency response law, flood control regulations, the state general emergency response plan for public emergency, etc., which are the laws and regulations basis for safety production, emergency management, flood control, and draft of reservoirs. This is about the laws and regulations, the catalogs of the laws and regulations. So in which, apart from those that we have just mentioned, it also include some of the specific project-based laws and regulations, including, say, Yangtze River Protection Act, Taihu Lake Basin Management Regulations, Safety and Security Regulation for the Yangtze River Three Gorges Water Conservation Hub. It also includes some local laws and regulations in terms of the production. For example, Zibo City Mongshan Reservoir Production and Management Regulations is one of the examples. So next slide is about the common regulations following the departmental rules. So that has covered part that I have just mentioned. It also includes some recently published and launched laws and regulations. I won't dwell on that. So this slide is mainly talking about how we build around the regulations about the water reservation by the Ministry of Water Protection. So this slide is about the laws and regulations for the small reservoirs. For small reservoirs management, in China, they have been one of the vulnerabilities in the management for a very long time. So in terms of the content of the measures, actually is not fully applicable to the real practices. Recent years, the Ministry of Water Resources has issued a number of measures targeted specifically for the small reservoirs, and the listed measures are the main parts of those that have been published in the recent years. So the third part of my presentation is devoted to the management system. So guided by the laws and regulations, the management standards of the reservoir and dams is very complicated itself. If we take them as a whole, if we refer to the recently published document, that is the Evaluation Standards Management System, the measures for standardized management and evaluation of water conservation projects by the Water Operation Management 2022, number 130. So from that, we can see it has given us the it can consist of 31 items from 5 pillar aspects, including project status, safety management, operation management and maintenance, management guarantee, and informatization construction. So content-wise, it is a very complete illustration of the very system of the evaluation. So it's got 1,000 points in the evaluation of dam safety, but the main pillar is about the dam safety. So across the 5 pillars, the 5 aspects in terms of the informatization, the project status, project appearance and environment, water retaining structure, water discharge structures, water conveyancy, diversion structures, metal structures, and electrical and mechanical equipment management facilities, synergy, etc. Those 7 items for a total of 230 points. In terms of safety management, it will include registration responsibility, project demarcation, production management, safety appraisal, flood control materials and organization, etc. That consists of 280 points. This is the part that has the biggest points across the 5 aspects. The third part is about the operation system, operation management and maintenance. It includes rainwater situation management and report, engineering, inspection, safety monitoring, repair and maintenance, scheduling and application, engineering benefits. 6 items totaling 210 points. Management guarantees. Management system standardization work manual, rules and regulations, fund guarantee, spiritual civilization, archives management, 6 items with a total of 180 points. And the last one is the informatization construction. Information platform construction, automatic monitoring, and early warning, network security management, 3 items, a total of 100 points. So this is a thorough system that represents the overall operation of the management in the overall system in China. Next slide, please. So this slide is about the key system across the 5 aspects, 31 items in total, and we have listed out some of the highlights. And in 10, we call it the 10 management points. The first one is about the organization and management. Subject of responsibility, including the responsibility, institution, and systems. Second part is about registration, including the declaration, examination, and approval, and certification granting, etc. And the third one is scheduling and operation. It's the regulation schemes and flood prevention.
第三个，检查监测，这是掌握工程状况的一项制度，通过巡查、巡视、仪器监测以及预警技术来去掌握工程的安全状态。再一个，维修养护是工程保养制度，对大坝设施和环境进行维护、维修保养。再一个就防汛杜汛，就水库防洪安全、汛期的防洪安全管理工作，对汛限水位的控制，防汛强劲材料的备料，以及遇到情况时的这个突发情况时的抢险工作。再一个制度就是安全鉴定，就是大坝安全的健康体检制度，是定期的对工程安全状况进行研判，有资料查明，进行安全评价，最后对它的安全状况进行鉴定。
对，杨处，我们稍等一下，现在英文好像没有声音，我们稍等看看翻译有没有问题啊。
好的，连续的时候提醒我一下。
好的。
你英文声音传不出去。你不管他，我不吵他。
那个杨处现在应该可以了。
好，
我们继续。我们可以继续了。
我们从安全鉴定这个制度。
So in terms of the safety appraisal, so across the 10 rules, the safety appraisal is to ascertain, for example, the information evaluation and identification, targeted at the risky engineers or the engineering projects to guard against the risks. So the risk removal and reinforcement is in line with the new construction, just like construction management of the new projects. The next one is the emergency response plan. So this is just in case some preparing for the drills and the improvement, etc. So the last one is downgrading and scrapping rules. It's about the disposal of the project, for example, targeted at the demonstration approval disposal for those different kinds of projects that have been eliminated. So those are the 10 rules that we have teased out across the 5 aspects of the 31 items that I have just listed out. They are the highlights. And the next slide about the management system, how we inspection and monitoring. So how targeted are our top 3 pillars of the works in China. So I like to highlight on the 3 highlights out of the 10 highlights. The first one is inspection and monitoring. So in terms of the inspection and monitoring, so we will use the machine and manpowers to do the monitoring against the facility to detect the enormity of the projects and respond to the emergency and also provide the preventions of such emergency incidents. So in our management rules, we provide certain rules amendment against it. The monitoring is right in line with the different types of dams. It's designed according to the different types of the dams, reservoirs. So in terms of frequency of inspection and monitoring, we have the monitoring at the preliminary stage or in the middle intermediary stage and in the post-operation stage, different kinds of frequency requirements. So you can see that in terms of the intermediary stage, we have the highest frequency of monitoring. It also represents that this is a very important stage of the project because it will expose a lot of risks in its project. So monitoring and inspection is serving as a very important role in this regard. So we always say that people's eyes are the best monitoring facility. So for the most of the cases, many of the incidents were detected by human beings' eyes and even reported by the public. So it is how we can differentiate the machines from the human's eyes. So on the right-hand side are the three cases. In the middle is the Wenchuan earthquake, a large-scale reservoirs monitoring inspection on site. So at that time, the earthquake struck very suddenly. It's covered a wide range of areas. Apart from the forces in Sichuan province, the Ministry of Water Resources has mobilized a number of experts to the on-site areas for monitoring and inspection so that we can prevent those emergencies, those risks at the very preliminary stage. So this earthquake didn't create any dangerous consequences.
As you could see, this is about an accident in the Shunuqiao Reservoir of Hunan Province. In 1992, it was established. Then the leakage was quite serious. Founded in 1994, and later the maintenance and the improvement had been carried out. And this is the monitoring technique adopted by Japan after the earthquake. And it is quite comprehensive. And from the perspective of the monitoring and early warning, currently we have improved our technology. Currently, we could use the remote sensing technology and the drone technology, and also the underwater inspection facilities to do the monitoring. Because of the new technologies, internet technology, and also the digitalization, we could do better work in the early warning. At present, currently we could adopt such technologies such as AI, digital twin, and other big data technologies. We could better do our work. And this is about the risk removal and reinforcement, and for the existing reservoirs. And they will have some of the problems because of the natural reasons and also the daily operation. So we have to remove the risk and then reinforce their operation. Actually, for a lot of projects built in 1950 to 1970, they were not that strong because of the limits in technology and also technical guidance. So later we have done large scale of the risk removal and reinforcement, focusing about 70,000 reservoirs, accounting 80% of the total.
工作经历到当前，我们叫“十四五”时期。我们现在的所做的工作，
And in this 14th five-year plan,
存量余量
and we focus on the existing reservoirs.
及时的，有问题吗？屏幕共享，主持人。好，
杨老师，那个，
看到了。
我们刚刚网有点问题，不好意思啊，现在回来了。
好，看到了。当前的工作，咱们出现这样的当前工作。
So currently our focus is on the risk removal and reinforcement,
然后健全我们的常态化，
mainly to reinforce the existing reservoirs and also to equip them with better technologies.
大
Also, we get the subsidies from the central government for this work,
投入责任，地方负主体责任，
and the
地方投入为主。
majority of the cost
中央资金的
is taken over by the local governments.
超标性洪水和高烈度地震的
And mainly, we focus on the potential hazards and the flood control and also the dam safety
大规模的出现
and reservoir management.
消除了，总体上消除了水库大坝的病险隐患。
Because of such a work, and we have successfully eliminated the potential hazards and increased the efficiency and also significantly improved the overall condition of the dam safety.
好，我们再讲一个重点的制度，就是应急管理。
Here I'm going to elaborate on the emergency preparedness.
从国际范围来看，应急预案是水库大坝安全管理的一项普遍的制度。
Emergency preparedness is quite important for the international standards. In a study of the World Bank about dam safety laws of 22 countries in 2002, 14 laws require owners to prepare dam emergency plans. Some require only high-risk dams to have emergency plans and review them regularly.
并定期审核。有些提出应急
Some suggest that emergency plans should be prepared in consultation with affected communities and stakeholders.
国家应急计划的批准是取得水坝运营
Approval of emergency plans is a condition for obtaining dam operating permits in some of the countries. This is the international practice, and for the regulation in China.
医院的规定的法律依据。
In accordance with the emergency response law and the guidelines for the preparation of emergency plans for reservoir and dam safety,
要求和技术标准的配套有大坝安全管理应急预案
and the owners are required to do well in event analysis,
突发事件的分析
organization and command, emergency response, emergency protection, and publicity exercises, and improve the relevance, practicality, and operability of the plan, and focus on prevention beforehand, disposal during the event, and improvement afterwards.
从应急预案的这个建设来看，我们重点注重事前的防护
And for the emergency preparedness, and we
和事后的改进。
have those regulations in China so that we have a better management here in China.
应急预案
And also we focus a lot on the drills, and then it is
管理的一个重要的环节。
highly focused here for the emergency preparedness. Drills can inform participation, can learn about the gains and losses, and can improve oneself, strengthen
管理要
monitoring and early warning and emergency preparedness.
争取及早发现和及时处置。
Early detection are the basis for timely disposal and loss reduction.
品质非常重要。
Mass prevention is very important, and a lot of foreboding in the accident lesson is found by the masses. This is quite important. And in the practice for the war in the ancient time, that the prevention was the key. And the second priority was to do a good job when the accident happened. And the third practice was to make sure that we could reduce the damage as less as possible. But here for the emergency preparedness, in the energy field, actually, and the fleeing actually could be the best way to deal with such emergency preparedness. As you could see from the top photos, they are the drills for the emergency preparedness here in Zhejiang province. And here also we have other management systems. First, scheduling and application. The operation of a reservoir should be standardized with the requirement for the preparation of dispatching regulations and dispatching application plans. And also, we have certain requirements. For example, the attention should be paid to the operation or existing the flood limit water level during the flood season, and not existing the normal storage water level during the non-flood season. And also, we should consider by combining the emergency management requirements of the emergency dispatch content. This is some of the scheduling and application system. Let's move on to the safety appraisal. This is in order to master dam safety. And for this part, it is to carry out dam safety assessment regularly according to the measures for the safety appraisal of reservoir dams, and also it should be carried out every 5 to 10 years. And also we have the dam safety guidance. And later we're going to have another lecture for this part specifically. And after the assessment, the competent department puts forward appraisal opinions, defines the dam safety grade and the safety situation, and points out the existing problems and the solutions. This is about the safety appraisal. Next one is repair and maintenance. It is to maintain the project status. It should be done on a regular basis or randomly. And the maintenance and repair must be done well. In recent years, we have done lots of innovative work for the small-sized reservoirs, and we have achieved a lot. Next one is downgrading and scrapping. This is the exit system. Also, it is for the systematic governance. The approach clarifies the object conditions, demonstration work, disposal measures, aftercare, approval management, and other requirements. which are quite important for the hidden danger management and risk control. In practice, we pay attention to the insufficient scale to be reduced to mountain pond management. If an area meets the requirement for scrapping, it should be safely scrapped and done well in aftermath of disposal and asset disposal. And if the legal system is for our management, then the technical standards gonna to set the standards for our technical practice. And then for the concept of a standard in technical part, it is a normative document developed by consensus, approved by recognized bodies, and used jointly and repeatedly in order to achieve optimum order within the limits. And then China has a long history in the standardization of the technical standards in the Qing dynasty. And we have the parts for the vehicles. And also we have the technical standards for its manufacturing, and also these standards have been recognized on the international society. And also the standardization for this part, it is first set by the Western countries in the era of industrialization, and currently we have the standardization to support the advanced economic and social development. And here we have different standards, either for technology, management, and work. And also we adopt some of the international standards. Here we have the standardization law, regulations on the implementation of a standardization law, measures for the management of water conservancy standards work, detailed rules for the management of water conservancy technical standards, etc. And for our construction cycle of technical standards, it includes pre-research project establishment, drafting, soliciting opinions, examination, submission for approval, publication, implementation, review, and announcement. And to make sure the smooth management from the construction, the operation, maintenance, and emergency, we have a set of these standards. This is an quite large volume of the technical standards. Those are quite the common technical standards, either for the flood prevention, the hydraulic and hydroelectric work, the flood standards, and preparation of reservoir operation regulations. Currently, we have 500 to 600 for the hydraulic technical standards. And in the course of management, we adhere to the systematic philosophy, risk thinking, and bottom line thinking, strengthening the comprehensive management, enhancing the whole process, and multi-dimensional complementarity of areas of weakness and coordinating the safety work of them. So we're going to walk the walk, make sure the safety. And that's all for my sharing today.
好的，
啊
好的，谢谢杨主任，谢谢杨处。我们现在先看一下我们学员们有没有问题。
Any questions from our audience?
现在是非常好的机会。
有时间啊，等我协助一下，一起欢迎提问。
And then welcome questions. Unmute yourself to raise questions.
把问题通过各种方式给我们的工作人员。
And then also you could send questions to us, and then we will
好的，有机会乐意回答这个大家
direct questions to Professor Yang.
对，我们是非常乐意跟大家共同探讨，就是大把。
We are delighted to have this opportunity to have communications with you. Let's see any questions.
分钟啊，看看是
Let's wait 1 minute.
那等2分钟。
然后没有的话，我们先等1分钟。
好的。他们控制的页面共享，这个。
今天其实也是非常难得的一个机会，我们邀请到了就是
Today is a quite good opportunity.
影响力的专家给我们
We have a quite influential expert in China for this lecture. So we welcome questions.
杨处，我看大家可能目前没有什么问题，后续如果有问题，我们也会及时传达到。
Probably no question now. Later we're going to send a question if they raise questions.
后面如果有需要，这个学员们那个有关心的，也我们再加上进一步的交流。
I'm happy to answer your question later.
对，我们后续还有各种方式可以交流，然后我们也给学员们准备了一些视频。
And also we have prepared some of the videos for our audience to study.
分钟，休息个15分钟，然后15分钟以后，我们给学员们准备了一个视频，我们大家可以。
Okay, that's all for the lecture. Later, in 15 minutes, we're going to play a video for our audience.
好的，好的，那我们现在先休息15分钟，我们中国时间4点10分左右再回到现场。
15 minutes break. Come back in 15 minutes.
15分钟以后见。一会见。 Hello, ladies and gentlemen, dear participants, welcome back to the training course today. As we've finished the previous lecture ahead of time, we have prepared a video for you to watch. It's about China's terracotta warriors in China's Xi'an city. I'm sure you've heard about it. And we have prepared a video for you to learn more about it. And yeah, I'll share my screen, and you're welcome. Yeah, if you have any question you want to exchange, have any comment, please feel free to post it in the chat box.